G'day punters, welcome to Victims of the Punt, the Sydney preview show for Randwick this weekend. It's a pleasure as always to be joined by Mark Shean and Mark Rhoden, but pleasant news to start off the morning. We've now got some new races in Sydney. No surprise, they're worth a couple of mil. This one, the Invitation, which will be on Cox Plate Day, the same day as the Bondi, and a week before the Empire Rose. Mark Shean, it's an invitation only. It will be comprised of 12 horses invited by a panel, and we're not exactly sure who gets invited to this panel, comprised of Racing New South Wales, but it sounds a little bit messy at this stage.
Yeah, well, another big race for Sydney. I don't know if it'll be a good thing or a bad thing, but they're throwing a lot of money to try and disrupt the Melbourne Carnival. I know that. We've got a lot of problems in Sydney with tracks. Maybe they should spend $2 million on the tracks. But I hope it doesn't take away from the Bondi because it's the feature race on that day.
Oh dear. Mark Rhoden, is it safe to assume that someone at Racing New South Wales is a bit of a fan of Seinfeld? I'm just personally waiting for a race called The Contest, but...
No, they've consulted the boss's dream journal again and pulled out another page out of that. It's, remarkable. It's July too. It's only 3 months away. It's not giving people much time to even build a campaign around it. It's a few of these races have been really late notifications like that. Late winter. But anyway, I have to echo what Mark says. That the condition of the major tracks in Melbourne is so far advanced on that of Sydney that it's not funny. Unless it rains on the day, Flemington is always a great surface. Caulfield's not bad. Sandown, the amount of racing that Sandown cops in the wet and still is okay is remarkable. Can be leaderish sometimes, but and like tracks like Randwick, you don't know what you're going to get from one day to the next. I think their priorities are a little out of whack. I'm saying that as a punter, but we know what they think of him.
Exactly right. Well, we have 10 races as per the new usual here at Randwick. Mark Shean, I'll just get a quick weather report because it's saying here heavy 9 to start with, and this is on Friday morning.
Yeah, we had, I'm not too far from Randwick, only a couple of Ks. Had a lot of rain yesterday afternoon and was very wet on the ground when I got up this morning as well. So obviously we've got a bit overnight. We've got a beautiful day now, but without that rain yesterday, we were probably tracking quite well to go to a slow, but I'd say with that extra rain last night, we'll still be in the heavy rains for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very high Pinot rating at this stage too, 6.14. Got a 9 metre rail too, which they don't race on very often, but gee, it was very, very on pace on the 6th last week. So on face value, you'd expect it to be on pace again. The one difference will be that there looks like there's going to be a strong westerly tomorrow, or west-northwest or something like that, which wasn't the case last week. So whether that makes life a bit harder for leaders, we'll just have to wait and see.
They have had 2 rails, 9 metre rails in the winter last year. Fence was off one day, and then second day was hard fence early in the day, and then it chopped out late. So I don't know. I think it'd be swoopers by late in the day if it doesn't end up like last week, which was again another joke like Wednesday.
Yep. Okay. Well, race 7's the first leg of the quaddie, so we'll see how we go. Benchmark 88 over 1,800 metres. Great House's favourite, $3.30. Best available from Opacity at $5. Canasters $7, as is Mubarak's. Steely's 10, and it's upwards the rest from there. Mark Shean, any thoughts here in race 7?
Looks to be good pace with Tory Joy and Canaster. Look, Great House probably got a chance, but he's proving a bit costly and short enough again around that 320, 330 mark. So just sort of Opacity back to Randwick, which seems to be the track that he races best at. He's going to get conditions to suit. It's drawn a soft barrier 1, so we'll certainly know by race 7 whether that's going to be advantageous or a disadvantage through the day. So just for the value of Opacity for me, I think Steely's racing quite well. I'll put it in for the danger, but I just think that's short enough for me, Great House.
Okay, 1 from 8 there for Mark Shean. Mark Rhoden, your thoughts here in the first leg of the quad?
Yeah, I'm a bit up in the air, to be honest. I was on Great House last time, and looking at the sectional data, I couldn't really find an excuse for him other than that he was second up, and perhaps that caused him to race a little flat. If that's the case and he bounced back, he can win, but I agree with Mark in that I think 320 is too short. So I'm looking around him, but I'm struggling because the one I wanted to give a chance to at odds, I'll probably spec this one anyway, Tory Joy, because I think she was ridden far too impatiently last time. Against that, as Mark touched on, there's a few others that want to go forward here, so it's not as if she's going to get control. So, but at $17, seeing that I think last start was an excuse, I could spec her, but it's hard to be confident, and I'm not really confident about anything. I might even have to wait and see if a pattern is established. Canaster's the other on pace. If they don't cut each other up and it is playing on pace, that they could be suited. But yeah, well, I'd rather wait and see with this race how the track is playing.
Okay. Race 8 is over 1,400 metres. Benchmark 88. Oscar Zulu's favourite. $3.10 from Blondeau and Surf Dancer around that $4.85 mark. It's Lily, $6. Mirror Vision, $9. Double figures for the rest there. Mark Shean, Oscar Zulu's got 3 on the bounce, but all at Rose Hill. What are your thoughts with that horse going back to Randwick?
I've got no problem with him. I think he's going to get a very similar run here. Just with my map, Taxu's come out now, so I'd expect him to be about 3rd or 4th in a very similar position to last start, and I think coming back to 1,400 is actually an advantage for him. I mistakenly thought 15 might, be into the hard zone for him, but he has won at his last 2 at 15. I think coming back to 14 actually is an advantage the way he maps. Surf Dancer's a query at a couple of trials, hasn't really jumped out of the ground at me, although I do find some trouble with the Waterhouse pot reading those trials, but I couldn't take that price off what I've seen. I think It's Lily's the big query here. Good wet tracker, probably a bit short of a best, but a very soft trial at Gosford the other day, jagged out the back. And if back markers can run on, I thought it might be the danger. So 4 from 6 for me. I've had enough of Blondeau.
That's fair enough too. Mark Rhoden, race 8 for yourself.
Not wildly different from the market, to be honest. I've got Oscar Zulu on top. I think he'll want to get every chance, and if the Rosehill Randwick switch doesn't bring him undone, he's the one to beat again. Don't know Surf Dancer, don't know about first up in the heady. I can't see. He's got one failure and went overseas, I see. So I don't know that first up, if his genuine heavy is going to be what he wants, but he's certainly going to put himself in the race. I2 and Sick of Blondeau, I won't be considering it. It's Lily. It's got my Joe McDonald on switch as well. A definite chance, but does get back. Found it hard to get my head around this race, to be honest.
Okay. Race 9 is Benchmark 78, also over 1,400 metres. Expat is favourite at $3, and you've got 8 Diamonds at $4.80, $6.50 for Fortune Seeker, $8 for Exotic Ruby, $8.50 for Steel Diamonds, and well and truly into double figures for the rest there. Mark Shean, race 9 for yourself.
Yeah, I think a lot will depend on the track pattern here. With if leaders are winning, obviously expats in the right position. 8 Diamonds is the second favourite and can be a bit tardy at the start, so certainly won't be in the leading pack. But there does look to be a bit of speed here, with also Vitesse and Vinciano and Fortune Seeker engaged in the race. So expat has done a bit of work and won 2 starts ago. She does seem to be able to overcome doing that early work. 3 out of 3 on the heavy. Just makes it a bit hard sometimes if they're getting off the rail for the leaders, though. So I'm just going for the value with 8 Diamonds if they're getting off the rail, and that just negates the leaders a little bit. So I think it's a 2-horse race for me. I think Expat is clearly the danger, and I can't find anything else in the race.
Okay. Mark Rhoden, for yourself?
Yeah, very, very similar thought process here. At this stage, I want to be on 8 Diamonds, but that's assuming it's not mad on pace like last week. If that's the case, obviously that swings it back in favour of Expat, and I'm sure the market will swing that way too if that sort of pattern doesn't emerge early. I was pretty impressed with 8 Diamonds. She got the perfect run first up at Canterbury, but her last 100 really did impress me when she's just starting to go through her gears. Her last 100 was her best of the race. I think she's pretty promising. Midfield trailing position on the map if she gets away, and yes, if they can make ground, I think with the likely good pace, she is the one to beat, and I think 460 odd is a pretty good price. So assuming a fairish track, I'll lean her way 13 8 diamonds.
Okay, watch this space then for race 9. Race 10, the final race on the cards, benchmark 78 over 1,000 metres. The Bopper is favourite at 460. Iron Power around that 5 to 550 mark. Albellagio missed 650. Irish Angel and Nikolai Beagle, we'll go with that, $7.50 a piece. And Van Giz is $8. It's a pretty open market there, Mark Shean. Any thoughts there in race 10?
Yeah, good race to end the card. The question mark here is the Bopper, who's resuming. He has been beaten first up his last 2 preparations, but was on speed and carved up on both occasions. So barrier 14 might be the place to be by the last. It might not be. So all gets down to track bias. So I'm going for Irish Angel myself. I think she'll be suited at 1,000. Chris Waller seems to have worked her out, keeping her a little bit fresh. She's a good heavy tracker. I thought a run at Rosehill was pretty good the other day, where she got a long way back. She bolted in first up off a good trial at Canterbury, and I think the track conditions suit her here, so just a little bit of value her way. I thought Handspun might be a bit of value also, number 3. I don't know what to make of the Bopper. As I said, a lot will get down to how the track's playing by the last, but Irish Angel on an each-way basis for me in the last.
Okay, certainly some pretty good splits there. Last start from Irish Angel over the last 400 metres or so. Mark Rhoden, your thoughts in the last race?
Yeah, I was happy enough to go around the Bopper first up on the heavy tomorrow, assuming they run. I'm not hugely confident again, but I might follow up on Van Giz. It was a narrow win last Saturday, but she was one of the few to do it from a wide trip. She sat 3 wide on speed there and managed to get it done when the 2 insider had far better runs considering the way the track was playing. Wet track, no problem at all for her, and stable going very well. Iron Power, I think fresh at 1,000. I like that setup, but I don't know about it this wet. And Albellagio missed the other one. Likes the wet and in form. And as Mark mentioned, Irish Angel, I'm just a little concerned about her racing style if it is at all on pace. But her weight figures last start were very good. Not a race I'm mad keen on, but I probably have something on Van Giz and work around those others I mentioned. But yeah, a bit up in the air again.
Okay, well that brings us to the end. I'll get your best plays, whether they be best bets, value bets, or lay bets. Mark Shean, I'll start with yourself.
I thought Honey Creeper would be hard to beat in the first. Unfortunately, the price went off in about 8 seconds there the other day. But I thought didn't have the best of luck in the run, comes back to 2-year-old company. I thought in race 3, Angara Rose represented a bit of value on an each-way basis. Didn't have a great deal of luck at its last run, the open race, but she has won on heavy ground at Kembla. And Le Chevalier probably looks hard to beat with J-Mac going on. So they're the best, just depending on how the track plays, of course.
Okay, very good. Mark Rhoden, your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm with the Angara Rose as well. I was on her at Kensington. It was a bit of a tough watch, but she did close up very well. And with a better run, more luck tomorrow, I think she can be in the finish, but I think she's a good price. And I'll 8 diamonds if the track's fair. I think I'd have her favourite for sure on a fair track.
Okay, very good. Well, that is the preview there for the quaddie legs at Randwick. Best of luck to you both. There's also Goulburn action there tomorrow, Mark Rhoden, isn't there?
Yeah, it's the Kembla meeting at Goulburn, so I'll be having a look at that this afternoon as well.
All right, beautiful. All right, guys, thank you very much to you both. We'll join up next week and do a preview of whatever's happening next Saturday.
Thanks, Peter.